So present perfect. Have you ever heard something about this? Have you ever learned something about present perfect? What do you imagine if I say present perfect? What is that? What could this be? So the first question, have you ever heard something about this topic, present perfect? Or no, never? Let me know, please.
Yes, the
Yes,
last year.
the last year with Lorraine.
Okay, so you check something of present perfect with Lorraine. Great. What do you
Yes,
remember?
miss.
What is that? What did you remember, Fabian?
Miss, is another thing. I think that you are recording the class.
No, I am. As I told you, I use a different program. Not Meet, but a different program. But I am recording the class, don't worry.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't worry. So, what do you remember of present perfect? What is that? Do you remember something, or you are like a blank page? There you have some
I
clues.
think
I
I think
Okay, let's raise the hand.
Teacher, yes, I remember with the actually start in the past we continue in the present. I remember this.
Okay, that's super important. Yes, it's something that began in the past but is still happening in the present. It gives continuity to the past in the present. What else do you remember, Fabian?
for example that with the regular verbs you use ed and yes that with the verbs.
Okay, there is something happening with the verbs. With the regular verbs, as you said, you have to put ed. But with the other ones, with the irregular verbs, you have to use the past participle. The third column of your list of verbs. Do you remember something else, babies?
That
Okay.
We always use like I have or has
Okay.
when he, she, it.
Very good. The use of has and have is extremely important. You can use present perfect without the auxiliary verb that is has or have depending of the subject. Don't forget. You have to use has just with he, she, it and have with the other ones. Okay, you have like clear ideas of present perfect. Today we are going to check it. We are going to do like a review of this because you already work with this. But anyway, if you have questions, just let me know. So let's begin. We are going to check the first part. So, Sophia, can you please help me reading this slide, baby?
We use the present perfect to say that action happened at use time before now.
Okay, so as your partner was saying, we use the present perfect tense, guys, to say that an action happened at a specified time before now. This means that even when the name is present perfect, you are going to be talking about the past. Yeah? This is going to be super related with past. So, the exact time is not important. It is not important to know when this happened. It is not necessary to know if this happened yesterday or 10 years ago. It is just important to know that this happened in the past and this has some consequences. This is like cause and consequence, something like that. So right now what we are going to do is that we are going to take a walk and we are going to check the rules and we are going to remember how can we form the present perfect. Here we go. First of all, my dears, before beginning, it is super important to review the verb to have. As I was telling you, it is necessary, mandatory to understand how to use have in order to be able to use present perfect in a correct way. So, this is going to be used, we will use this verb as a helping verb. This is going to be the auxiliary verb, a helping verb, in present perfect. So don't forget how to make it. Don't forget that you are going to use I have, you have, we have, you have, they have. What's the difference between this you and this you? Why do I have to use here? Who can tell me? What do you think? Very good. So the first one is like you, like tú, and this is like in plural, ustedes, ustedes, okay? So singular and plural. If you realize, I use have with almost every subject, but the freaky ones, the different ones, the third person is going to be different, of course, as usual, and they are going to be using has. She has, he has, it has. Questions up to this point? Questions about the use of the verb has or have? Okay, so now that you know that, we are going to continue. Let's continue. Carlos, can you please help me reading the first part of this slide?
Yes, teacher. These sentences is formed using two components. One, the helping verb have in the present tense. Two, the past participle form of a verb. So let's see what it looks like all together.
Thank
One,
you.
the both
Stop there for a while. Stop there for a while. Okay, so my dears, as I was telling you, this is going to be formed, oh god, this is going to be formed by using two important things. The first one is the helping verb have or has, and you are going to use it in the normal way, in the present tense. No le van a cambiar nada, lo van a usar así nomás, el verbo have va a ser have o has, and that's it. No conjugations, no additions, no nothing, just have. And you are going to be using the past participle form of a verb. And here is where I want to tell you something. This is one of the things that you have to study. This is one of the things that you have to memorize. This is one of the things that you can avoid. You have to learn, you have to memorize the past participle form of the verbs. Tienen que sentarse juiciosos, tienen que sacar un tiempo, amores. English is the time of the class, but also the time that you use in your free time. Tienen que saber que por cada hora de clase ustedes estudiando es afuera y así, ¿ok? So guys, take the time, please dedicate the time to learn to memorize the past participle form of a verb, okay? Don't forget, that is the third column of your list of verbs. Es la tercera columna de su lista de verbos. So, for the regular verbs, it's easy because you just have to put ed at the end. For the irregular verbs, you have to take some time to learn it, okay? I am going to show you how is this done. I am going to show you some examples. So let's see what it looks like. Carlos, can you please continue? Can you please help me reading the examples?
Yes, teacher. One, the boat has sunk. Two, she has called. Three, he has watched. Four, my sister has
Swum.
Five, our West has arrived. Six, the teacher has sighed.
Okay, so look at this, my dears. Here we have some examples, and as you can see, I have the subject, I have my auxiliary verb, and I have the verb in past participle. The boat has sung. Why has? Because the boat is singular, the boat is. So the boat has sung. What is the meaning of sung? What is sung? What is that?
Sung is the past participle of sing, that is like hundirse.
Very good. Let's continue. Don't forget, guys, please take notes of the ones of the verbs that you are going to check or to the ones that you are going to see here. Tomen notica, amores, de los verbos que vamos a ver hoy, okay? Just in case, because you may use it in the future. Let's continue with the next one. She has collected. Subject, auxiliary verb, and the verb in past participle. In this case, as you can see, my dears, this is a regular verb. As this is a regular verb, we just have to put ed at the end. Como es un verbo regular, ponemos ed al final y listo. And that's it. Antonio, tell me.
En la primera palabra, en la última es sung o sung, no sé, la última letra que es. No,
Oh, it's a K, es una K. Sung,
vale.
S-U-N-K.
Vale.
Okay? Okay. So, my dears, let's continue with the next example she has collected. Look at this. I have watched. So, subject, auxiliary verb have, because my subject is I, and the verb in participle. In this case, once again, this is a regular verb. For that reason, I just have to add the final ed. Okay, I have watched. Let's go with the next example. My sister has swum. So, my dears, subject, my sister, singular, she, so my auxiliary verb, my helping verb is going to be has. And look at this verb, swim. What's the infinitive form of this verb?
Swim.
That's it, swim, nadar. So this is the participle. Can you see that I changed the structure because it is irregular? Here we have another one. Our guest has arrived. Nuestro invitado ha llegado. So once again, subject, the auxiliary or the helping verb that is has, because we have a singular person, and the verb, in this case is regular, so you just have to add ed. And finally, look at this one. The teacher has said. Has, because it is singular, like she, and said, what's the infinitive form of the verb said? This verb, say. Very good. If you try to say this in Spanish, this is going to be like, ella ha dicho, él ha llegado, ellos han estado, acá, mi hermana ha nadado. It's like, can you see, like, the mix between past and present is like a combination. Ha hecho esto, pero tú no sabes si ya dejó de hacerlo. Ha llegado, pero tú no sabes ni en qué momento llegó, ni si ya se fue, ni si nada. Can you see? So, you are going to have this. Ha llegado, ha hecho, ha estado, ha mirado. Something like that. Okay? Questions up to this point, my dears?
El profe nos puso el grosero, pero no entendí.
¿No entendiste? ¿Qué no entendiste? Y explicamos. Otra vez, no te afanes.
Todo.
Todo, listo. Resulta que estamos hablando de un tiempo verbal, amor, que es el presente perfecto. Cuando tú tienes el presente perfecto, es un tiempo que vas a usar, digamos que a pesar de que el nombre te dice presente perfecto, tú no vas a estar hablando tan en presente. Es algo más relacionado al pasado que al presente. Entonces es el tiempo verbal que tú utilizas en inglés para decir que alguien ha hecho algo, que algo ha pasado. No tienes un tiempo específico, o sea, solo sabes que es en el pasado, no en qué momento específicamente sucedió, pero sí sabes que es algo que ha sucedido. Si tú lo piensas, digamos, un poquito en español, es lo que yo estaba diciendo. Él ha hecho, él ha llamado, el bote se ha hundido. Nosotros muchas veces hablamos de esa forma y en inglés también hay una forma que es el presente perfecto para poder explicar algo que ha sucedido, un evento que ha tomado lugar en el pasado, pero que tú no sabes si ya terminó, si va a tener consecuencias y demás. ¿Listo? ¿Hasta ahí vamos, Antonio?
Sí, profe.
Listo. ¿Qué tienes que saber de eso? Para poder construirlo, tú tienes que entender dos cosas. Lo primero es que tienes un verbo que te va a ayudar, que es el verbo have. ¿Listo? Have o has dependiendo del sujeto. Recuerda que tú utilizas has solo con he, she, it. ¿Preguntas hasta ahí?
No, profe.
Listo, mi amor. Y lo otro que tienes que saber es que te tienes que aprender el participio pasado de los verbos. Eso es súper importante y eso lo tienes que hacer tú. Tienes que tomar un tiempo, sentarte y repasarte los verbos y memorizártelos. Si no nos memorizamos esos verbos, cielo, no vamos a poder utilizar el presente perfecto porque nos va a quedar mal. Entonces, primera tareita, memorizarte el participio pasado de los verbos. Como tú sabes, Antonio, en inglés tenemos dos tipos de verbos, los regulares y los irregulares. Los verbos que son regulares son los verbos que cuando tú los vas a usar en pasado, sea en pasado simple o en el participio, tú solamente les vas a poner ed al final. Por ejemplo, este verbo de acá. ¿Sí ves? Que termina es collect y como es un verbo regular, solo le pones ed. Lo mismo pasa con este, watch. Watch es un verbo regular, entonces solo le vas a poner ed. Eso es un verbo regular. Los verbos irregulares son como por ejemplo este, sunk, que es el participio pasado de sink, que es hundirse. Entonces, si ves que no tienen mucha relación, la estructura cambia. O por ejemplo este, mira, set, este es el participio pasado de say. Entonces tienes que tomar un tiempo para memorizarte esos participios pasados y así vas a saber cómo los vas a utilizar acá. Para armar, cielo, tu presente perfecto, simplemente vas a tener en cuenta que siempre vas a utilizar tu verbo auxiliar y el participio pasado de los verbos. Entonces vas a tener tu sujeto, tu verbo auxiliar, que es has o have, y el participio pasado del verbo que vas a utilizar. ¿Hasta ahí vamos?
Sí, profe.
Listo, y hasta ahí vamos todos. So, guys, anybody else? Do you have more questions? Okay, so let's continue. For the last time, guys, please memorize the past participle form of the verbs. What is a past participle, guys? I am going to explain this like specifically, just for you to know what is this. So, as I was telling you guys, with a regular verb, the past participle ends with ed, just like the simple past, like in the normal way, just with ed. So I am going to show you some examples. Please take note of the verbs. Collected. What is the meaning of this verb? What is collected?
Colectar.
Recolectar.
Let's continue. This one, enjoy it. What is that?
Disfrutar.
En infinitivo, sí. Enjoy, disfrutar. Enjoyed.
Disfruté.
Disfruté, disfrutó. This is the past form, okay? So the infinitive enjoy with in past ed. Here we have another, watched. So the infinitive is watch and the past simple or the participle is watched with ed. Here we have another one. The irregular verbs have a special past participle form. So, as usual, guys, the irregular verbs are going to change the structure. That's why you have to memorize it. Irregular verbs has a special participle form that you have to learn. This is what we have in our list of verbs. So, guys, your books usually has a list of verbs. You can check in the last pages. Pueden mirar, por ejemplo, en las últimas páginas de su libro. Usualmente van a tener ahí la lista de verbos. So you can use it. In the next days, we will be doing some contests just to check how much you know the participle form of the verbs, okay? So, as irregular verbs has a special past participle, you have to memorize it. I am going to show you some examples of that. So, the one that we had on the example, that is sung, the infinitive sing. Here we have another one. Swim, like this is the participle, infinitive form, swim, nadar. Here we have another one, eaten. What's the infinitive form of this verb?
Eat.
Eat, comer. Comer, very good. So the participle is eaten. Said, this is the one that we had on the example, infinitive say, past participle, said. So can you see, my dears, we have to change the structure of the verb in the past participle and if the verb is irregular. Questions up to this point? Okay, let's continue then. Now, guys, we are going to check a bit of the structure. In order to check the structure, we are going to watch a video and you are going to try to identify the past participle in the things that you are going to see. This is a video of cartoons, so this is how the present perfect is used in our daily life in the normal way. So I am going to play the video, it's super short, and then we are going to talk a bit about the structure.
The jury has found you guilty. Let's see how America voted.
Sorry, he's changed his mind again. Stripes on the zebra, spots on the giraffe, no stars on the lion, and make the elephant bigger and the amoeba smaller.
We've voted you off the island.
Now look what you've done.
Thank you, but I've already provided for my children's college education. Damn. Hey, I love what you've done with the office.
So dears, which sentences or which structures in present perfect were you able to identify in the video? Tell me, Vale.
Okay, so I couldn't hear it or see it very well, but I touched it. He has changed his mind. We have voted you off the island, and I love what you have done with the office.
Very good, very good. So there are some of them. Can you see, guys, that for example in the last one, I love what you've done with the office. Can you see that they use not I love what you have done, no usaron completo el have, sino que lo usaron en una forma en contracted form? So you can also use it. You can say, for example, we have or what you have. I'm going to send you. Or you can say or you can use the contracted form that is you've. This one. Can you see? So I love what you've done with the office. We've voted to throw you off of the island, something like that. So as you can see, the present perfect is something that we usually use in our daily life. Now I am going to talk to you a bit about the structure, and I am going to give you some tips and some moments that are going to be useful for you, okay? Some things that are going to be useful for you to understand the present perfect. Let's go with the first one. The present perfect, guys, is used in different situations. So the first situation is this one. When we have time period that is a time period that is not finished. When we have something that is not finished yet, or that we don't know is finished or not. So we are going to check this example. I have seen 3 movies this week. Yo he visto 3 películas esta semana. I have a question for you. Let's think about this week. We are specifically on Wednesday. Is the week over, guys? Yes or no? Think about this week. Is the week over? No, not yet. I have seen 3 movies this week, but possibly I will see 4 extra movies by the end of the week.
Okay.
So we don't have a period finish. We don't have a specific moment that is over. I have seen this, but I don't know if this is going to continue happening for the next days of the weeks. Tell me, Fabian.
Means one question when I'm going to answer, for example, that question for you. Have you seen 3 movies this week? I answer with the have or has. Yeah.
Yes, it is important. So you can say, yes, I have. No, I haven't. You can use have or have. Yes, because you are asking with the auxiliary verb has or have. So yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, my dears. So look at this. The first use is when you have a time period that is not finished yet. The second use. The present perfect is often used, guys. I mean, what is the meaning of often? Do you remember? What is the meaning of that word? Often. What is that? Yeah, it's like usually. It's a synonym. Like a menudo. So usually, it's often used when the time is not mentioned. Okay, so for example, in this moment, you have like this week. So you have maybe a period of time, something like that. But it is often used when you don't have specific times. Let's check this example. Gary has failed his exam again. Do you have a day here, guys, on a specific moment? Or yesterday or a week? No, you don't have it. You are just saying that this guy has failed his exam and you have again. So this is something that had happened before. Es algo que ha sucedido antes y es algo que posiblemente va a seguir sucediendo. So when you don't have specific times, when you don't have a mention of the time, you use present perfect. Number 3, the next use, babies. The present perfect is often used when the time is recent, cuando fue recientemente. Es algo que está en el pasado, pero sucedió hace poquito. Okay, so let's check the example. James has just arrived in Victoria. Victoria is a place. What is the thing that I have here? ¿Qué ven acá diferente en este ejemplo? What's difference here? What can you see? Yes, that I have add just. James has just arrived. James acabó de llegar. Está en el pasado porque ya llegó. Ya está acá. Pero acabó de suceder. Es un evento en el pasado tan reciente que utilizas el presente perfecto. ¿Ok? And number 4. The present perfect is often used with for and since. When you have for and since, can you please let me know what is the meaning of for?
Para.
Desde. No.
In this case, it's desde. Okay. Like for is not desde because desde is since. But for is like por. And since desde. Okay? So we are going to check another example. Greg has lived here for 20 years. Greg ha vivido aquí por 20 años. Look at this. Is this a finished action? Is this a finished thing? ¿Es algo que se acabó ya? Yes or no?
No.
No. It's something that started in the past, but is still happening now, and you have no idea when this may finish. Tú no tienes idea cuándo puede terminar. You just know that there is a period of time, and a specific period of time, and a specific amount of time for this action. So in this case, guys, when you have for and you have since, you are going to use present perfect. Cuando tienes for y since, vas a utilizar el presente perfecto. Questions up to this point? Antonio, ¿cómo vas? Do you understand?
Un poco perdido, profe.
Okay, let me know. We are talking about right now the moments where you use. Estamos hablando ahorita en los momentos en los que utilizas el presente perfecto. Okay? So, guys, don't forget. When the time period is not finished yet, cuando no se ha acabado ese periodo de tiempo. When the time is not mentioned. When the time is recent, for example, you can say, James has just arrived. I have already eaten. Yo ya he comido, hace poquitico, hace casi nada, pero ya pasó, es súper reciente. So, in this case, guys, si se dan cuenta, cuando el tiempo es reciente, usualmente agregamos un just, agregamos un already, agregamos un yet. ¿Listo? Keep in mind this. And for and since. With for and with since. Greg has lived here for 20 years. I have studied here for 5 years. I have learned English since I was a baby. I don't know, something like that. Can you see? Questions about the moments where you use present perfect, guys? Okay. Let's continue then. Don't forget, guys, the uses. Unspecified time before now. There are some uses. The ones that I mentioned, I am just going to give you some extra examples. You use, once again, have or has plus the past participle. More examples. I have seen that movie 20 times. So as you have an specified time, you don't know if you are going to watch the movie more time. Ya la viste 20 veces. Pero, amores, el hecho de que esta persona haya visto la película 20 veces, ¿implica que va a dejar de verla? ¿Quién te dice a ti que no va a ver la película otras 20 veces? So this is an action, no one, very good. So this is an action that happened in the past, but it is something that you don't know when this happened. Tú no tienes no vio la película 20 veces en un mismo día. La vio una vez y de pronto a los 2 días y de pronto 3 meses después. Algo que está en el pasado, pero puede continuar en el futuro, en el presente y así, ¿ok? You don't have specific times. You just know that this is an action that had happened and that may keep happening, que puede continuar sucediendo. Questions about it? I have another example for you. I think I have met him once before. Creo que lo he conocido antes. Alguna vez lo vi, algo así. So guys, this is a possibility. You don't know when this happened. You don't know if this is going to happen again. But once again, guys, you have to use your subject, your auxiliary verb, and the participle. Lo he conocido, lo he visto. Okay? Here we have
Teacher.
another. Tell me.
Fabian, the internet is over with in a moment. Connect this.
Okay, baby, thank you. So here we have another example. There have been many earthquakes in California. Han habido muchos. What is the meaning of earthquakes?
Terremotos.
Terremotos in California. So once again, you don't have a specific period of time. You don't know when did this happen. You just know that this had happened or this has happened, but you don't know if this is going to happen again. No tienes un tiempo específico, pero es algo que puede suceder. Okay, give me a second. I'm sorry. Okay, this may happen again. Look at this one. Another example. People have traveled to the moon. So once again, you have your subject, your auxiliary verb, that in this case is have because you have this in plural, and the past participle form of the verb. So people have traveled to the moon. When did this happen? We don't know. No tenemos aquí, en este ejemplo, un tiempo específico. Is this going to happen again? We don't know. This may be, but we don't know. Okay, guys? In the case of the use number 2, referring to an experience, you can use present perfect when you are talking about experiences. This is important. When you are talking about experiences. So, look at these examples. I have been to France. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so I am going to go back. I am going to go back to use number 1. So let's stop here for a while. Questions of this use. Preguntas sobre este uso, amores. Use 1, unspecified time before now. Questions about it? No? So don't forget, if you don't have specific times, you can use present perfect. And there you have some examples. I am going to show you example one by one just in case.
Teacher, is necessary take a notes?
Of course, it's necessary taking notes because if you don't take notes, you won't be able to study then in the future. I mean, this is going to be.
Don't take notes.
It's important.
Other class.
So it's important, Miguel. That's the reason why you have a notebook, you know. However, the classes or the recording of the classes are going to be in the YouTube channel so you can check it again. Don't forget to take notes because this is your instrument to study in the future. Okay, Jorge, can we continue? Jorge? Okay, he's not answering, so we will continue, guys. So use number 1 on a specified time. Let's go, guys, with use number 2. You can also use present perfect when you are talking about experiences. Experiences are talking about like things that you have lived, okay? Your experiences, your life experiences. So you're going to check some examples. The first one, I have been to France. Yeah. I can do it. Yep, don't worry. Use number 2, referring to an experience. So use number 2 to talk about experiences. Remember this. Present perfect can be used to talk about experiences. So, like the example, guys, I have been to France. I have been to France. Yo he estado en Francia. Esto es algo que tú has vivido, que tú has experimentado. Tú has tenido tiempo de estar allá. Y tú estás hablando de una experiencia, de algo que viviste. Cuando hablas de eso, cuando hablas de experiencias, utilizas el presente perfecto. Yo he estado en Francia. Let's check another example. Look at this. You have grown since the last time I saw you. Tú has crecido desde la última vez que te vi. So the fact of growing up is an experience. And the fact that I haven't seen you in some months or something like that is an experience too. So you have grown since the last time I saw you. So look at this. In this case, we are using since. Remember that you can use present perfect with since. Has crecido desde la última vez que te vi. Here we have another example. Our son has learned how to read. Our son, don't forget, this is a boy, this is he, this is singular, has learned how to read, aprendió a leer. This is an experience, guys, because this kid, didn't learn to read just at the school. You as parent has to be next to your boy in the process. Tú tuviste que experimentar todo el proceso desde que no sabía leer hasta que empezó a aprender, hasta que por fin aprendió a leer. Can you see? So this is a life experience, something that you have experienced. Another example. Scientists have split the atom. Los científicos, what is the meaning of a split? What is the infinitive of a split? What is that? Split.
Descubrir.
No. It's like divide. Okay? Divide the atom. Han dividido el átomo, han separado el átomo, han fragmentado el átomo. Okay? Scientists have split the atom. Of course, this is an experience. So, use number 2. Questions about use number 2, babies? to talk about experiences. Present perfect to talk about experiences. So use number 1 when you don't have specific times. Use number 2 to talk about experiences. Here you have another example. I have heard 4 quizzes and 5 tests so far this semester. I have had 4 quizzes. Ya has tenido 5 quizzes, 4 quizzes y 5 exámenes. Es algo que tú has vivido, es algo que tú has experimentado. Okay, let's stop here. So questions, guys. Questions up to this point. Preguntas hasta este momento. Something to say, something that you don't understand. We will practice with this. Vamos a practicar, so don't worry, we will have some time to make some exercises. However, please let me know if you have questions. No